Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. Ukraine targets a Russian warship. Kanye West apologizes. 4 in 10 adults believe we are living in end times. And drivers rank the worst traffic in America. And then I'll be back with the message of the day. Wall Street Journal asks a poll, do you believe the American dream still holds true? And you'll be amazed, discouraged by how many people think it does not. Got that coming up. First, Ukraine struck a large Russian warship in Crimea. The assault was likely carried out using cruise missiles supplied by France. This vessel was integral to Vladimir Putin's latest offensive along the coast of the Black Sea and was used to transport tanks and armored vehicles to the front line. Ukraine's President Zelensky praised the strike, said, quote, there will not be a single peaceful place for the occupiers of this country. Rapper Kanye West issuing an apology to the Jewish people after years of anti-Semitism. West returned to Instagram and posted his message in Hebrew. He said, I sincerely apologize to the Jewish community for any unintended outburst caused by my words or actions. It was not my intention to hurt or demean, and I deeply regret any pain I may have caused. A survey from Pew Research finds 2 in 5 Americans say we're living in the last days of humanity. 39% of adults think the end is near. When asked about the cause of the impending apocalypse, a majority cited the Bible, followed by a potential nuclear war with Russia, and then climate change. Nearly half of the population thinks that human beings will be extinct in the next 100 years. Really? You only think we got 100 years left? A report from Fox News ranks the worst traffic in America. Cities are judged by time in the car compared to distance traveled. Top of the list, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Houston. But the worst spot for motorists, Washington, D.C. Drivers in the capital waste 150 hours every year sitting in traffic. That's 1 week every year, just traffic. If you're looking to avoid gridlock, got to go to Kansas. People in Wichita experience just 15 minutes of traffic every single year. Coming up next, a message of the day about the American dream. And then finally, something you might not know about our Ivy League schools, the Wuhan wet markets of bad ideas. That's all coming up on the O'Reilly Update.
Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532.
Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith, filling in for Bill O'Reilly. On today's message of the day, the Wall Street Journal asked the poll question, do you believe that the American dream still holds true? Only 36% said it held true. 18% said it never held true, and 45% say it once held true but doesn't anymore. So it's 63% of Americans say no, there is no American dream. That's bad. But it also requires us to ask the question, well, what is the American dream? The Wall Street Journal defines it as, if you work hard, you'll get ahead. And I think that's a fine definition. I think most people would define it something like that. But I would like to move the American dream past a purely materialistic definition, right? If you work hard, you'll make more money. Or if you work hard, you'll own a house. Well, what if you don't make more money? You're not living the American dream? What if you never own a house? You can't live the American dream? What if the Fed raises interest rates and you can't get a house now? You're cut off from the American dream? I don't like that. The American dream has to be more than just material things. Even the guy who coined the term, his name was James Truslow Adams in 1981. This is the quote that always gets quoted. He said, life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement, regardless of social class or circumstance of birth. Right, so that's where people get the materialistic definition. The next line, but no one ever quotes this one. He said, it is not a dream of motor cars and high wages merely, but a dream of social order, virtue, in which each man and each woman shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable and be recognized by others for what they are, regardless of the fortuitous circumstance of birth or position. So he defined the American dream, the guy who coined the term, as living a life of virtue. One of my all-time favorite stories, and I hate to share it here so briefly, but please read the book Road to Dawn. It's the story of Josiah Henson, a slave, 41 years of torture and betrayal. He finally escaped, and he hiked 600 miles at night to the border of Canada, to Lake Erie, carrying his 2 children on his back, 600 miles. And he gets to the lake, and there's a ferry captain that he has to ask to get across. And who knows if this guy is pro-slavery, and this could have been the moment where he gets sent back to slavery forever. But he had to take the chance. And sure enough, the man agreed to give him a ride across. So this man sails him across, and Josiah and his wife and 2 kids, they walk off the boat. And as they're walking away, the captain says, "Be a good fellow, won't you?" And Josiah responded, "Yes, I will. I will use my freedom well." A lot of people will say that the American dream is freedom. But freedom's not the end of the story. Because freedom to do what? You have the freedom to do very bad things. Freedom is the beginning of the story. Josiah knew it. It's using your freedom well. So if I may humbly request that we try to move away from an outcome-based, materialistic American dream, and instead have an American dream based off of using your freedom to live a life of virtue, or as Thomas Jefferson put it in the Declaration of Independence, the freedom to pursue happiness. Thomas Jefferson knew that true happiness can only be achieved by living a life of virtue, and that dream can always be lived, no matter how bad the economy might be. So does the American dream still hold true? In the end, that's really up to you. Something you might not know. Next.
If you or your business is falling behind filing your tax returns, or if you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The Biden administration just unveiled an $80 billion plan to modernize the IRS and reduce the unpaid tax debt. Are you tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments? You do not have to face the IRS alone. Hire Anthem Tax Services. They can help you settle your delinquent tax problems and all collections, and may even be able to reduce your back taxes significantly. If Anthem Tax Service cannot reduce your current monthly payment with the IRS or state, or they don't put you in a better position, you might qualify for the 100% money back guarantee. Please call Anthem Tax Services 800-810-9193, 800-810-9193, 800-810-9193.
I'm Mike Slater, filling in for Bill O'Reilly today. Now it's time for something you might not know. With all the insanity going on our college campuses across the country, it might be worth sharing that all of the Ivy League schools, except for Cornell, which was founded after the Civil War, were founded as seminaries. Yale was founded in 1701 because the Congregationalists thought Harvard was getting too liberal. Their code of ethics said that students were required to live religious, godly, and blameless lives according to the rules of God's word, diligently reading the Holy Scriptures, the fountain of life and truth, and constantly attend upon all the duties of religion, both in public and secret. This is very much not the case today at nearly any of our schools. The current motto of Harvard is Veritas, which means truth, which is pretty funny with their current president being a repeated and flagrant plagiarist and all. Almost as bad as Joe Biden when he was in law school. But people joked that the motto of Harvard is now my Veritas, my truth. But the original motto of Harvard was for the glory of Christ. Jeez. Listen, I'm not here to proselytize. I'm just saying this is the country we once were. And these Ivy League schools are older than the country. So these were our founding grandfathers. These are the places our founding fathers went to. And the country, the culture that they were growing up in. Now, maybe you think we're improving from that. Maybe you think we're evolving and you think things are better now. Great. I'm just telling you what was. The seal of Princeton, don't tell them, but the seal of Princeton is an open Bible with the words New Testament in Latin. And the motto of Princeton is, under God's power, she flourishes. Unbelievable. We have been so taken over by the secular left. Look at what we once were. I used to think it was fun to make fun of what was going on college campuses because they live in a little bubble. And then when those snowflakes graduate, the world's really going to smack them in the face. And I was very wrong about that. Those people graduated and then have taken over every single aspect of our culture, all the institutions in our country. We all live on a college campus now. And it's time that we view these places as somewhere between a national security threat on one side, or as Bill Maher said, the Wuhan wet market of bad ideas. But we can't continue to let these places go on festering when all of the problems that we have in America today started in the petri dishes of destruction that we call higher education. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. More coming up.
If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584.
I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. Thank you, Bill, for letting me fill in. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again tomorrow.